Welcome to the Bare Metal Cyber Security Plus podcast. This series helps you prepare for the CompTIA Security Plus exam with focused explanations and practical context. For a companion study guide, check out the Achieve CompTIA Security Plus 701 Exam Success by Dr. Jason Edwards. It is the most concise and complete Security Plus guide on the market, built for busy professionals who want to pass the exam fast and on their first try. You can find this book and others at cyberauthor.me. Monitoring systems only help you if you act on what they show you. Security alerts are like warning sirens. They signal that something may be wrong. But how you respond to those alerts makes all the difference. Do you contain the threat before it spreads? Do you investigate false alarms to improve your system? In this episode, we explore two crucial parts of alert response and validation: incident quarantine and alert tuning. These are the tools and techniques that separate a mature security operation from a reactive one. Let's start with incident quarantine. When a system is compromised or strongly suspected of being under attack, one of the first steps is to isolate it. This is called quarantine. The goal is to stop the attacker's access, prevent the threat from spreading, and preserve the system for investigation. Quarantine buys time, and in cybersecurity, time is everything. There are several ways to quarantine a system. One of the most common is network isolation. This means cutting off the system's ability to communicate with other devices on the network or the internet. You can do this by applying firewall rules, disabling the switch port, or reassigning the system to a quarantine network. Some advanced endpoint detection and response tools can automatically move a device into containment as soon as malicious behavior is detected. Another method is user isolation. If the incident involves a compromised user account, you may need to lock the account, reset credentials, or remove group memberships. This ensures that the attacker can no longer escalate privileges, access new systems, or hide their tracks under someone else's identity. Timing is critical. If you wait too long to quarantine, the attacker might exfiltrate data, destroy logs, or spread malware to other systems. But if you act too quickly before confirming the threat, you might disrupt normal operations or tip off the attacker. That's why many organizations define quarantine procedures in advance. These procedures specify who has authority to quarantine, what systems can be isolated without approval, and how to document the action for incident review. Let's walk through a practical example. A school district security team receives an alert about unusual file activity on a teacher's laptop. The system has begun accessing shared drives it normally doesn't use and is creating encrypted archives. Within minutes, the security team isolates the laptop from the network using their endpoint management tool. This prevents the potential ransomware from reaching other systems. Once isolated, analysts begin reviewing the logs and identifying indicators of compromise. The system is re-imaged, the teacher's password is reset, and no other devices are affected. In this case, swift quarantine stopped the attack before it spread. Another example involves a cloud environment. An alert flags that an administrator account is being used to launch new virtual machines in an unusual region. The security operations team suspects credential theft. They immediately suspend the account, freeze the affected cloud instances, and initiate forensic snapshots. This limits the damage, protects billing resources, and preserves evidence for further investigation. Effective quarantine depends on preparation. That means having the right tools, clear policies, and regular drills. Teams should know how to isolate systems safely, communicate with affected users, and escalate when needed. Quarantine is not just about stopping the threat. It's about stopping it in a way that allows you to learn from the event and recover cleanly. Now let's move on to alert tuning. In any environment with security monitoring, alerts are essential, but too many alerts can become a problem. When everything looks urgent, nothing stands out. This is known as alert fatigue. When security teams are overwhelmed by low-quality or irrelevant alerts, they start to miss the signals that really matter. That's where alert tuning comes in. Alert tuning is the process of refining detection rules and thresholds to improve accuracy, reduce false positives, and ensure that alerts are meaningful. This involves reviewing which alerts are being triggered, analyzing how often they lead to action, and adjusting the system to improve its signal-to-noise ratio. There are several ways to tune alerts. You can adjust thresholds, such as increasing the number of failed logins required to trigger an alert. You can filter out known good activity, like routine maintenance scripts that trigger false positives. You can also group alerts so that related events are correlated and reported as a single, high-confidence incident. Let's look at a real-world scenario. A hospital's security operations center is receiving dozens of daily alerts about port scans from external sources. While these scans are common and mostly harmless, they are cluttering the alert queue and distracting analysts from more serious issues. The team tunes the alert rule to only trigger when the scan is followed by a connection attempt to a sensitive service. Immediately, the number of alerts drops, but the quality improves. Analysts now focus on the alerts that show potential exploitation, not background noise. In another case, a university experiences constant alerts about file access by automated backup systems. These alerts are technically accurate but not useful. The security team tunes the monitoring tool to ignore known backup jobs during scheduled windows. The change results in fewer false alarms and more attention paid to genuine anomalies, such as file access, by users who should not have it. Alert tuning also involves collaboration. Security teams should work with system administrators, developers, and help desk staff to understand what normal behavior looks like. This helps define what should and should not trigger alerts. Over time, organizations build a more accurate model of their environment and a more efficient alerting system. But alert tuning is not a one-time task. As systems change, threats evolve, and user behavior shifts, alert rules must be reviewed and updated. This is especially important after a security incident. If an alert failed to trigger or triggered too late, the tuning process should include a review of what went wrong and how to improve detection for the future. To summarize, effective alert response depends on two powerful practices: quarantine and tuning. Quarantine isolates compromised systems to contain threats, protect data, and preserve evidence. It is most effective when it is fast, planned, and documented. Alert tuning reduces noise, improves accuracy, and helps security teams focus on what really matters. It transforms monitoring from a fire hose of data into a targeted tool for detecting true threats. For the Security Plus exam, expect questions about how to respond to different types of alerts, when and how to quarantine a system, and how to tune alerts for better performance. You may be asked to analyze a scenario involving alert fatigue or decide how to adjust thresholds without missing critical events. Be familiar with terms like containment, response workflow, false positive, and suppression rule. These are all key to understanding alert validation and action. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Bare Metal Cybersecurity Plus podcast. For more episodes, tools, and study support, visit us at baremetalcyber.com. And before you take the test, make sure to check out the practice questions in the book Achieve CompTIA Security Plus SY0-701 Exam Success by Dr. Jason Edwards. They cover every domain and are a powerful way to lock in your knowledge.